Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I have another episode of The Naked Gun. This is a show where I choose a weapon, I use absolutely no attachments, and then I kind of put it through the paces. I see how I like it, what I dislike it about it, with its bare bone essentials. And for today, I'm going to be using the new MTAR-21 that was introduced in the new Close Quarter DLC. I'm also only going to be showing you guys footage from the new, the new maps and all that kind of stuff. I'm having a lot of fun with the new maps, and I'm assuming you guys want to see gameplay from it as well. So I figured, why not just, if I'm going to do the Naked Gun with the MTAR, just put it all on the new maps. So the first thing when I started using this weapon that jumped out at me was its iron sights. They look absolutely ridiculous. They're quite unique, I have to give it that. The iron sights are very unique, and there really isn't anything out there right now on for Battlefield 3 that resembles anything like these iron sights. So I guess that's kind of cool. And they're not too bad, to be honest. Like, even though they do look ridiculous, you can still line up shots, and while it can be a little difficult to, stay on target, this thing does have a lot of vertical and horizontal recoil to manage, so it can be a little difficult to track your target if you are aiming down sight. One thing that I usually found that was allowing me to be more successful is if I would spot my enemy before I started shooting, so I could kind of track that red triangle that everyone not really hates. But when that's the way that you can track an enemy, because the iron sights are bouncing all over the place, it's usually not the most enjoyable experience. But really, the iron sights are not that bad. I think my largest complaint is the thing that makes it unique, which is that giant pole staff shaft thing in the middle there that holds up the circle for the iron sight. That thing can get in the way every once in a while, and it can block my sight on the enemy. So that would probably be my largest complaint, but overall, they're not that terrible. Easily, though, one of the best things going for this Naked Gun setup is its rounds per minute and its hipfire accuracy. The MTAR has a rounds per minute of 900, which I believe is the fastest round RPM for the engineer class. And coupled that with the amazing hipfire accuracy of this weapon, you can just run into a room without having to aim down sight and just spray pretty much everyone down. And because all the maps on the Close Quarter DLC are very, it's all close quarters for the most part, you can turn into a room, see two enemies, and just spray them down almost, not really instantly, but you can take them down way before they can react to you. And that's what I found. That's what I found to be the most effective way at taking people out. Sure, like I said, the iron sights are not too shabby, but I found that if I would aim down sight and the target was a fair distance off, that was really the only way I could take them out. But it was a little difficult to stay on target because this weapon does have a fair amount of recoil. So if I could, I would try to move around the map. If I saw someone off in the distance in another room, I would weave around and avoid those long hallways so that when I did come across him, I was up close and personal and I could just abuse the RPM and the hipfire accuracy of this gun. And for the most part, it was very, very successful, and I could just destroy a lot of people with this tactic. And that's what I was mostly doing in these maps. You're probably going to see it in this video. I do it multiple times where I will just flank my enemy, or if I'm getting shot at, I'll let them come to me so I can have that close encounter engagement and then just spray their face off. And it was a lot of fun. The MTAR is definitely an extremely powerful weapon up close, and if you aren't having to deal with the recoil by aiming down the sight, this thing just absolutely destroys people. If I was going to use some attachments to improve upon the MTAR, I would definitely use the foregrip, because the weapon has just a ridiculous amount of horizontal recoil. Reducing that at all is going to be a huge help when you do aim down sight and make it much easier to stay on target. And because this weapon has such a high RPM, you're really not going to want to go for those long shots. And because the foregrip penalizes you for going for longer shots, I don't feel like it's that big of a deal, because this weapon really shouldn't be used for long-range engagement. So I think the foregrip is a perfect attachment for the weapon. Another attachment that I would highly recommend is the laser sight. It's going to increase your hipfire accuracy and just make you even more effective at bursting down people up close and personal. And because, like I said, that's pretty much what I was doing on the close quarter maps, I would highly recommend it. As for some attachments that I would stay away from, I recommend not using the heavy barrel or the flash suppressor, because I don't think that this is a long-range weapon weapon, the heavy barrel just doesn't seem like an attachment that would be all that useful, and because also the weapon doesn't have a lot of vertical recoil, the flash suppressor just seems like a wasted slot. So I would mainly just stick with the foregrip and the laser sight and then some sort of scope that you're comfortable with. I mainly like to use the Cobra sight, but it's all really just personal preference. But that's it for the Naked Gun, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, or you just want to support my channel, I always appreciate it when you give my videos a thumbs up. But I also want to know what you guys think of the MTAR. Do you like it since the most recent expansion? Do you think it is awesome, or do you just absolutely hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.